Alright, so where do we stand? We've got the two system drives, is what I'll call them for now, because these are going to house the OS, operating system. Those are plugged into the back, they're screwed into the case, and they're also plugged into the board right there on the faster channel. We've got the power supply all plugged in, memory, CPU. These drives here are not plugged in, they don't need to be right now. I'm going to leave those for a little later. What I want to do now though is plug the last few things in and actually power this up and take a look into the BIOS. And I'll tell you what that's about in a minute. What we got to do here is take these small little cables and plug those into the case. And this is usually a pain of an operation because they're so small, and basically they go right on those white pins right there. A lot of those are marked out on the board with the names and stuff, but having the user's guide for the motherboard is always handy in this case. So let's get that going. There's actually one other trick that this board does, and I'll show that in a second. Let's see if I can squeeze this in real quick. When you're plugging the power in, there's a clip on one side, and all of these holes are keyed. There's only one way this can go in. When you hear it make a click, you know you've done it right. Here's another one for the motherboard. 4 pins. It only goes in one way. Click, and it's in there. If you want to release it, you kind of have to hold the clip, wiggle back and forth a while. This will be tough. And there you go. Thanks for watching. See ya. Alright, so I mentioned that these pins and connectors are relatively small. What these do here is they're all labeled hard drive light, so a light on the case will blink when you've got hard drive going, the power LED, the power switch itself, and probably the reset switch. Yes indeed. And in some cases there might be a few more connectors, but this is the main ones here. And getting these to sit exactly where they need to go can be a little difficult, especially when you're dealing with two random ones. This is power LED plus, this is power LED minus. Why they couldn't make this a single attachment, I don't know. Because I've never come across a case or a motherboard that didn't have these split apart like that. One thing that Coolmaster does is they give you this really nice header with some writing all over it telling you exactly what needs to go where. And the way the pins are all set, this can only key in one way. So what I'll do here is, hopefully there's some focus going on. Really sorry about that. It was focused on the motherboard itself. I think that's pretty close. So on this side we've got the case speaker, which does the beeps for BIOS issues, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. The power LED plus and minus, the hard light drive, the power ground, and the reset. So what we're going to do here is, let's see, power switch goes there. HDD light goes here. Reset. And flipping this over, power LED plus. I suppose those are a little far apart, which is a good... Ooh, don't want to bend that like that. So those are far apart. Sometimes they're right next to each other, but in this case they're separated by one full distance. And then this is a microphone, which will give us some beeps. There are no markings as to which side to put here, but we'll just do it like that. And then this can only go on like this. Voila. What we are ready to do now is power up. So we'll run the back around here if I can see what's going on. So I got a monitor plugged into the case right now, and we'll do the power. And if we look in the case here, what we should see is an internal power light go on when I flip this switch. And there it is. Whew. I've got a keyboard plugged in. And we don't need a mouse at this point because we're just going to be keyboarding around. And what we'll do here, let's back this out a little bit. And I really wish this camera has an autofocus button, but it doesn't work when it's recording video, which is a really downer for me. And we'll whip over here and go. That's very quiet. In fact, louder than this is probably this computer way over there. Ooh, don't want to stretch that too much. I can't tell if both the front fans are going, but one of them definitely is. If not two. That's going, that's going. Now we didn't hear any beeps. What that means is that the BIOS is probably working. It means the memory is seated. However, there's nothing on this monitor here, which is turned on. So there may be an extra button I have to push over here. I don't know. VGA in. No signal. Over on this side of the case, that is definitely firmly seated, and it is the VGA. So let me power down and I'll do a little troubleshooting here.